G'day and welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about productivity. You know, productivity is one of those little things that you only realize that there is a day that goes by in which you have achieved something, you were productive, you feel productive, or that you loafed off, you lounged, you procrastinated, and it then immediately feels like an unproductive day. You may be one of those people that plan ahead, set up schedules, task lists, and yet at the end of the day, it feels like you didn't achieve anything. You look at your task list and you wonder, where did the time go? Then you need to sit down and evaluate your day. Did you overtask yourself? Were you realistic in your tasks and your goals? Or did you spend time doing other things rather than following your task list, your schedule, etc.? Or did things happen beyond your control? Were you involved in other meetings, or doing things for other people, or doing things outside your bounds of your task list, which you had no control over, which ate up all that time? I like to think of myself as a fairly organized person. I set up a task list, sometimes on paper if I have a lot of small tasks, but mostly in my head, because I can keep track of about 7 tasks a day. The little ones I tend to write down somewhere and I'll get to them, especially if they are lower priority. But I often have days in which I feel that, wow, where did the time go? And I feel unproductive. I feel that I skipped out to my task list. When you sit and you evaluate such a day, you will find a reason that you feel that way. There were things that just got in the way, and which were beyond your control. In my case, sometimes it's unscheduled meetings with clients who call me out of the blue and quickly want to meet, and some of these meetings can take up an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours if I include traveling time, and 2 hours for me is a lot of time. On a day like this, I may even want to mow the lawn, or I come up with another idea that I just feel that I have to do because it feels important to me. It might be a small task which I have been putting off for months. Something like a tip on how to open coffee cans or coffee tins. That is actually a pretty good tip. A trick with a coffee tin. Now, I don't know what the coffee tins look like in the rest of the world, but we have a common problem in South Africa, which I'm sure everyone has experienced, and that is when you have a coffee tin like this, you open up the tin foil at the top, and now you have your access to your coffee. Now, some people, if they have the right kind of holder, that's not enough a big problem, and they would just pour it out like that. Other people that have a holder with a smaller throat would use a spoon, and you would spoon it all out bit by bit, which usually often results in a mess around it, etc. Now, I actually have been using a different method for a very long time. I'm going to put this one side because I'm going to show you what I've been doing. Now, please excuse me that I am using instant coffee, but I like instant coffee. Now, this is the foil that we have on the top, and you have this little tab which you normally would pull the entire thing open with. But I want to show you a very simple trick, and that is you take it like this and you just pull the edge away. So you have that small little opening, okay? Just enough to fit your scissors through. Now every kitchen needs a good pair of scissors, and you stick that in there and you cut towards the center, not all the way to the center, but 1/3, and you cut away another little piece like this, so that you have a little pie cut. You can push these edges down. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you have that nice little V shape there. The reasoning behind it is, now, no matter how big your holder is, you can pour your coffee out quite easily without making a mess. And there you go. And on goes your lid again. So yeah, that's just my tip of the day for getting coffee out without making a mess. Let's get back to productivity. If you have clear set goals for a day, a week, a month, a year, and you set up tasks which need to be performed every day, week, month, and you keep to a schedule, you will feel more productive at the end of a month or even at the end of the day, even when you do have those occasions when you do have days in which you are disrupted from your schedule and do not feel productive. Just because you feel unproductive doesn't mean that you were unproductive. The only people who need to feel unproductive are those who actually purposefully procrastinate and loaf off. But yeah, on with the day. Time to do some gardening. I'm not really big into gardening, but I've got a little garden here, and one of the things that you need to do is mow the lawn. And I prefer to mow my own lawn. Fortunately, it's not a big space, but it's something that has to be done. And then obviously I plant a couple of plants and just keep it clean. But let's mow the lawn. And because it's approaching winter, we don't have a lot of grass. That's all we have.